Rosa, Camacho, Sorensen. June 2nd, 47. Saipan, Chalancanova. Yeah, my father is Pedro Roberto Camacho, and my mom is Luisa Muña Camacho. My mom was born in 1916, so you minus the war, huh? You figured the date. And my dad was born in 1912. And my mom has, you know those people, they all have a lot of kids, huh? I don't know, but I can count the Muña. My mom is Muña, like si Tunculas Muña, si Tunakin Muña, and all those things. Those are my mom's siblings. But my dad, his only son, and 4 sisters. And they're all dead. Yeah, they're all dead. Andrea is the last one. You know, Andrea Camacho, Tenorio Camacho, or whatever that thing. It's your relative. So she's the baby of the family. And she was still young, very young. Andrea was born in 1934, I think, and the war was 1944, right? So she's still pretty young at that time. The rest are, they were happy. They like it. They think the Japanese were nice, you know, because they don't know the American people. But during the Japanese, they think they are very straight people and they're very good. See, my mom, they don't know much too, because she got married just a few days before the war. So she had to spend her honeymoon with my father in the cave. And then they took cover to cover my father up so that Japanese won't see him, because his complexion is very white and he looked like an American, so they don't want him to be killed. So they cover him, and I think only thing you can see is this, in the cave. With the wedding, I really didn't think she was that important to tell me, but the typical Chamorro wedding, if maybe you guys know, during the war, me and my dad, they were, they know. And then they got married, and then I think a few days later, they were told to go to the cave because the American just landed. So they all go to the cave, and they didn't bring much of them, anything they have. So that's right now, after the war, they didn't know anything. They didn't own anything because they burned the whole Garapan area, right? So they burned their house and they don't have anything. So what they have at the cave, that's all they have when they went to Susupi. Oh, she doesn't speak English. She practiced with their sister Medio. I think she was teaching handicraft. Oh, she spoke Japanese fluently, both of them. My mom is, they're both actually very good in Japanese. My mom, she was with her family. My dad, they're in a separate section, right? Because he has family, his family too, they're all in one place, and my mom. So the Muña came with my mom and my dad. And they hide in the cave, and that's where they hide my dad. And they're enjoying their honeymoon. Gualarai. Yeah, Gualarai. That's my dad's property up there. No, they say they got picked up by the American, and I think they took him down to Susupi something. That's where the American took it. They don't have any car to go down there, and that's a long distance, from up here. No, I guess the camp is really safe for them, so they were, okay. When they got out of there, I don't know, I guess that's when they got their house. They were given a lot and maybe some material, and they built a small house, and from there they keep expanding it as they have more children. My mom and dad, they have 7. 3 boys and 4 girls. In Suzuki, right next to the cemetery. You know where Chibi found store before? Chibi Roberto. Chalancanoa. Right on the other side of the cemetery, there's a road, and then it's right in there. My father is from next to the beach. You know Tunusen, Rosa, and Camacho? Kathy Sue, you know Kathy Sue, Andrea Camacho. That's my grandmother's house right there, District 2, right next to the beach. Their house in Garapan, I don't think, they don't know where it is because it was flattened, you know. The American came and flattened the whole thing, so they get rid of all the Japanese. So that's where my mom and my dad came from. They say they have a nice house there, but all of them. And after the war, they don't have anything. Not even a jewelry, because the American took all their jewelries. My mom and my dad, yeah. The Camacho is in Garapan, and the Muña is in Garapan, not far from the church. That's where they belong, and they stayed there until after the war, when they didn't have any more house. After they got out of the where they were put, you know, right next to the water, a beach again. And they stay there, and it's right next to the cemetery, not far there. And we stay there all the, you know. I was born, my sister was born, and she has 7 other kids there. Now it's not there. The house is still there. They're renting it out because they know they both dead, so nobody's staying there. Oh, I don't know. I think one of them, my grandpa, goes out and look for food. The rest is they're scared, you know. Can you imagine I think she said that somebody went out for food or for water, couldn't get back, no more. Before they moved to Camp Susupi, they were told, the American that came to pick them up, they were told to leave everything behind and they can come back and pick it up. Everything, not even a jewelry. And can you imagine my mom? She just got married, she got all those jewelry, huh? they give the bride nothing. They put everything, and when they came back, there was nothing left. And so they didn't have really anything, only what they have on them. But you know, they're glad. The Camp Susupi, I think they were happy there. They feel safe. I got one auntie, and she is stubborn, and she thinks she's macho lady, huh? When they say you cannot take anything to the cave or anything with you, so she said, nobody's gonna do that. She packed all her jewelry, and she got a lot, and took it with her, and nobody knows she was carrying that. And after the war, I said, what is that? And said, that's my jewelry. He said, you're not supposed to bring that. I said, well, that's not theirs, it's mine. So I have it. So she's the only one that have. The rest, they didn't really have anything. And my aunt, that auntie is dead. And I think you probably know her. It's Felisa and Roberto. My dad or my mom, my grandma, both grandma, they have a sugar cane plantation. And they have some other workers to do the harvesting and everything. They have a son, it's my father. He didn't know how to cut that sugar cane. He's the only son, so they treat him like a king, I guess. They didn't make him work, they hire other people to do it. But it's okay, he was okay. He turns out to be okay. I think you probably know my dad. He turns out to be okay. He never starved us. Oh, they are happy. And sometimes they wish, you know, the Japanese would be back. But I told her, no way. And they both speak Japanese if they don't want us to know what they're talking. So I'll see. No, I think they were all happy. You know, they learn whatever. They go to school to learn, so they learn. And the only thing actually that they learn more is maybe reading, writing, or they even know how to Japanese character. So anything with education, they're happy. And the parents do, you know, they make sure that you go to school, you learn, right? Education, you cannot stop. The more educated you are, you know, the better for you. And what you learn is yours, it's not mine. So I said, but if you want me to waste my money to go to school, you better get out if you're not going to learn. And my kids are all grown up, and they all learn, and they all they're happy. Right, Julie? And Birdie? Julie is a lawyer. Birdie is what do you call PhD. And I have two more. I have Joshua and I have Lisa. They're in the States. Lisa was just here helping me. So Bertie's here because it's her turn. And then another one is coming, is Joshua. And they all got their education, and I told them, education is for you, not for me. Whatever you learn is not mine. And it's very important. I don't think they like to talk about war. We don't. They don't really. They enjoy the Japanese, and when the American people came, they are very happy. The only sad thing is that they didn't have anything to show what they used to have, a dress or jewelry or anything, because they're so taken away from them. But you can collect that again. Oh, growing up is no problem. I have lots of friends in District 2, and we play around there, and sometimes we play marble on the ground, because there's no place. So I'm a little bit tomboy. I climb a mango to pick up the mango. And then when I finish eating it, I aim it to whoever I don't like. Here. But then, I'm okay. I'm a tomboy, but it's no problem. And my brothers and sisters are very nice. We fight, but who doesn't? I grew up in District 2, right next to the cemetery area. Not as close as the cemetery now because it's further. Now it's right next to the cemetery because the cemetery keeps getting bigger. But I just go to school. I went to Mount Carmel. And then after school, we play with our neighbors. We have neighbors there, and they're very nice kids, and we all play. We don't fight. My mom is a housewife, and my dad is a security with the American. After the American, they came for security, and that's how he works. He doesn't know what. He's a spoiled little kid. But my mom, she knows how to do everything, even handicraft for survival. She makes wedding dress, wedding bouquet, and flower for the cemetery, And she's very good in the handicraft, and we help her. At that time, there's no inside toilet. Everything is outside. And the cooking is, my dad would go and cut the wood and then bring it home, and then we cook it with the fire. And we don't have anything. We grew up just like after the war. Everybody uses outside toilet, and everybody cooks with the firewood because there's no refrigerator, no stove, no nothing. So that's how we survive. My dad grew cows, so we have some cows sometimes. And then he has a farm. And then my mom too. She has her farm outside the house. She grew all those things up. She has to cook, and we help cook, and we all help clean the house. And somebody has to do the mopping. Somebody has to do the outside. We all have a job to do. My dad is not a farmer. And not even my mom. My mom is more for the handicrafting. So what he does is he goes to the farm, he grows something for the cows, so they can feed the cows. And then of course we have coconut, and they destroy. And I don't know what happened to they have workers from Okinawa, I think, to handle the farming. Both of the family. But after the war, there's nothing left. Even my grandfather, I think he goes up to the Donny Hill, and that's his farm, and he grows tobacco for cigarette to smoke for he and my grandma. But nothing, no sugar cane, no nothing after the war. Not that I remember. Right, I went there. First grade to high school, and I don't think they have any American school too. It's only all Japanese, unless somebody would teach you how. Yeah, we have missionaries, missionaries from Spain, they come to teach. You have to wear the uniform from kindergarten up to high school. And that's okay. If I outgrow mine, I give it to my sister. Or there is not expensive, and you can pay a little bit at the time. And my mom, sometimes she makes some uniform for the sisters, and they use that. Anything just to help around, and that's how they pay. And I don't mind. I like Sister Remedio, and she's more for kindergarten. And everybody, I think, listen to her. I do, even though I'm not a good girl. Yeah. But anyway, no, they're the sisters for the kindergarten. They're very good. Then when we graduate from there, we go over to Mount Carmel. I got married right after graduation. We don't have really all the transportation here that you need to go off island, for tourists. Nothing. It's only until I got married and I went with my husband. At that time is Ray Carpenter. And then now I have John. And that's when Julie was born in Guam. Lisa was born here. And I didn't like the treatment at the hospital at that time. So I went back to Guam to have Birdie, because it's a naval hospital. My dad has the, what do you call that? Karitan guaca? Mm-hmm. My dad has that. And he goes and take care of his cow. Actually, the people really like the Japanese. I don't know, my family, because they respect other people too, the same as the American when they came. But now, everybody is the same. And I think now it's worse. You don't have any security, safe. Before, we don't lock our door. We don't have any padlock to lock the door. Now you have to lock your door, even your inside. But that's one thing I remember though. Even before I left Saipan to go with my husband, and I came back, everybody has to lock their door. But before, we don't. We just walk out and just close the door, And then the mosquitoes. My gosh, we don't have a screen window. But now, if you don't have a screen window, the mosquito will carry you out. The temperature was really good. It's not hot, not like now. We didn't have any aircon, and we open our windows, even no screen. Mosquitoes they're not there. I don't know where they came from, but she's okay. She's not a bossy lady. She do what she said, and it's okay. And she doesn't spank a lot. Oh, she used to have that cow tail, and then she open it up and dry it on the tree so that she can braid it next time, When I see that, I take a machete and I go make a hole and all those things. She won't be able to do it. And then she said, "Who did that?" I said, "I don't know." I'll blame my brother. Maybe Greg did it. And Greg said, "Oh no, I didn't do that." So she didn't have that thing to spank us, right? So we're okay, we're safe, we're good kids. Yeah, but my mom is very mellow. My dad doesn't talk much either, That only the two of them, they talk quietly. No, I'm the second from the oldest. Annie, Annie Larson? You don't know Annie Larson? You know her. Yeah. Annie is the oldest one, and then me, and then Greg, your grandfather, Greg Camacho, and then I have Joe. None of the same age with you guys. Joe, and then I have Vidal, and then I have Selena. But they all die when they're young. Oh, Auntie Tita. So we have 3 girls left. The guys are all gone. And they all die when they're young. The youngest is the first one to die, like Selena. Selena died. So then with that. And then Joe, now Greg. 4 of the boys and 1 girl. So I'm the second from the oldest and my oldest, and the third one down is Maria. Maria is in Guam. Her last name is Kahili. Married a Hawaiian. The angel, the statue, and then the angels, little angels sitting around that thing. And then they take, on December 8th, they take it around that church. And I was up in that one time. And that's a pain in the neck. I was still little, but my auntie Dolores, she's there, you know, she put me up there, said, you're gonna sit here. And by the time I got out of that thing, my leg cannot walk. We go from the church up to, all the way down to Villa Gomez's store. Remember that? And then down there and then back to the cemetery and to the church. And I was like this, you know, because when you have long legs and you don't have space, it's really very limited. It hurt. But it was fun looking down. Now, only girls go up there. Guys, they cannot get up there. Everybody in my family survived. Only my grandma, after the war, she, you know, is in Madongdung. Madongdung, I don't know what they call that. But she died. But my grandpa, no, she lived long enough. I even met him. And my grandma from my dad's side, oh, she's a tough lady. So I remember her, and I think there's my kids too, they saw her. She's a very short lady. She's from Guam. My grandma is Rosa Roberto. And she's a different one too, because when she was born, her father jumped the ship from Guam and married a Guamanian lady. He was a Robert. He was what do you call the military, the American military that jumped, oh no, the whalers.
English whalers.
English whalers. And he jumped the ship in Guam. And his last name was Robert. So he met Tampilat and married Tampilat, and that's when all the Roberto came out. But see, they took the Robert and put a Roberto because the Chamorros, it's hard for them to say Robert. So by saying Roberto, well, no problem, Roberto, they all got Roberto. Yeah, the English, they all came, the whalers, they came from England, and they're white, right? And when he jumped the ship in Guam, he married Tampilat, it's a local lady. But my dad, when he was born, he looks like an Englishman. He looks like what they call him in the Japanese, Frances. You know, Frances is the French, like the French name. Mm-hmm. He looks like a Frances because he's very tall, skinny. No, he was good looking.